Let's talk to them. Sign in, please.
When are we? 1 minute. 1 minute. I've got 1 minute. I'm not even
All
gonna
right.
sit down.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So agenda items number 2 and 3, it's recommended that the Board of Education call the regular meeting of the Ottawa Elementary School District number 141's Board of Education to order and authorize the board secretary to call the roll. Madam Secretary, please.
Mrs. Mangold?
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes?
Here.
Mr. Donahue is absent with notice. Mrs. Gainier?
Here.
Mrs. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Gainier?
Here.
Mr. Conley?
Here. Agenda item number 4, this is our favorite part of the evening, the recognition of our special guests. And we will start with the state track athletes.
I want to take this opportunity to recognize the state athletes and their accomplishments this year. I'm going to list them all. The ones that are here, when I call your name, come up and come around the table and shake the board members' hands. Tucker Clemens is the son of Brad and Casey Clemens. He qualified for state in both the 800 and the 1600. John Pitts, son of Rebecca Pitts. He placed 6th in the long jump. Moselle Truss, she's the daughter of Stephanie Calhoun Truss. She qualified in shot put. Tylee Dariff, daughter of Tim and Nicole Dariff. She was one of the qualifying members of the 4x100. Mia Corwin. Mia is the daughter of Megan Devine and Tyler Corwin. She was a member of the 4x100. Kaylee Engel. She's the daughter of Sean Engel and Ashley Engel. She was another member of the 4x100. Cameron Lachey, daughter of Chris and Jennifer Lachey. She was the alternate on the qualifying 4x100. McKenna Moore. McKenna is the daughter of Brent and Kayla Moore. She was a member of the 4x100, but more importantly, she is the 2-time state pole vaulting champion. And this year she set a record at state at a jump of 11.25. Head girls coach, Bridget Jett. Head boys coach, Brian Hebner. Our assistant coach, Addison Miller, could not make it tonight. And our volunteer coach, Kayla Moore.
Good job, Brian. Good job. Thanks for all your work. Congratulations.
And then we would also like to recognize and give a huge thank you from the board to some of our outgoing administrative personnel, right? Mr. Nate Pinter. Come on up, Nate. Mr. Zachary Vian.
Good luck.
And Mr. John Doerr.
Good luck, John.
Thank you very much on behalf of the board for your service to the district. Okay. We are now ready to move on. Usually this is where I would say, if you have somewhere else to be, now is as good a time as any to move on with your evening. Thank you very much for coming out and supporting our kiddos and our staff. Have a great evening. Okay. Agenda item number 5, our open forum. It's recommended that the Board of Education conduct an open forum, inviting any person in attendance at the meeting with an opportunity to address the Board of Education in accordance with its policies. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? Okay. All right, and according to my form here, sir, you are Mr. Michael Grenda, is that
Correct.
correct? Okay, just a couple of quick reminders. Presentations must be specific to educationally relevant issues. We're going to ask that you limit yourself to about 5 minutes. Yep. And we ask just that we be civil, no boisterous conduct or name calling or that sort of thing.
Yep.
Thank you very much. The floor is yours.
Perfect. All right, so my name is Michael Grenda. I've got 2 children that attend OES that attended since preschool. I was previously a school psychologist, so got to work with some of you before too. Wanted to speak to the board tonight regarding the rollout of Right at School before and after school program that's going to be starting next fall. I was surprised that my first time learning about the district partnering with Right at School was in late May. My children regularly attend the after school program at the Ottawa YMCA. So I was surprised there's never any outreach to parents of children who attend the Y bus to kind of get our input for considering another program. From my perspective, the board had a 10-minute presentation based on its April board meeting and then agreed to a contract with Right at School at the May board meeting with little discussion. In a district that in my experience regularly forms committees, surveys parents, has excellent parent-teacher communication, there wasn't an attempt to reach out to parents and guardians regarding this matter. This lack of communication and outreach seems contrary to the new strategic plan the district has in its pillar of Our Families. I was even more shocked to learn that the district intended to drop transportation to the Y program in the fall as well, which was never communicated. In following up with both the Y and speaking with Ms. Darlington, I'm happy to hear the new agreement could be reached, although at a cost for the first half of the school year. But that's something that should have been worked out prior, and it still leaves uncertainty about consistent transportation for families. This is contrary to the strategic plan's pillar of Our Community. By ignoring an opportunity to collaborate with a local nonprofit the district has had decades of partnership with. It also seems to ignore the investment this community made in a multi-million-dollar facility for the Ottawa YMCA. And it kind of ignores the YMCA as one of the named programs the district will coordinate parental involvement strategies with per board policy 8.96, the district-wide parent involvement policy. After attending the Right at School Zoom, speaking with Ms. Darlington, I do not understand why the district is partnering with an outside for-profit entity while not exploring how to strengthen engagement with a local nonprofit like the Ottawa YMCA. Had there been outreach prior to adopting the program, you would have learned the value of week-by-week scheduling that the YMCA offers, which is essential for working families and changing schedules. Right at School offers only monthly plans, and they do not have any discounts that apply to their 10-day punch cards. Outreach would have also helped provide a clear indication of how this program would operate on early outs and half days, and when there would be more staff activity in the building. This still has not been fully explained by Right at School. The lack of communication and collaboration for considering after-school opportunities was a bit disappointing. I just hope it improves in the future, so I just wanted to share that to the board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your perspective. Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the board? All right. Hearing none and seeing none, we shall move on. Agenda item number 6, approval of the agenda. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the agenda as submitted.
So moved.
Motion by, who was that, Mary? Second by Mary Beth. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None? Thank you. Agenda item number 7, Code of Conduct. I will take this one tonight. As a member of my local school board, I will do my utmost to represent the public interest in education by adhering to the following standards and principles. Number 12, I will strive to keep my board focused on its primary work of clarifying the district purpose, direction, and goals, and monitoring district performance. Agenda item number 8, approval of minutes, monthly bills, and financial reports. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the minutes from the regular board meeting of 5/19/26, monthly bills and financial reports as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Eric,
Second.
second by Lindsay. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 9, approval of the fiscal year 26 amended budget. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the proposed fiscal year 26 amended budget as presented by Mrs. Chris Torres, Director of Finance. Chris.
So I included the new amended budget along with budget notes and a tentative cover sheet. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer about that?
You answered mine already.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Lori, second by, was that Mary? Okay, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 10, approval of fiscal year 26 interest earnings in the debt service fund. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the fiscal year 26 resolution to classify earnings as interest in the debt service fund.
So moved.
So, okay, motion by Eric, second by Mary Beth. Does anybody have any questions or?
So does everybody understand? Well, it's the law. If you earn any interest in the debt service fund annually, you have to declare that as interest, because if you don't, it becomes principal. And then in the event that we had surplus in that fund, we would not be able to move it to a different fund. So annually, you have to declare it as interest.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris. Any questions, comments, concerns? No? Okay, we already have a seconded motion. So, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold, Mrs. Kimes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 11, approval of the consideration and action on a resolution to abate working cash funds to the Operations and Maintenance Fund. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the attached copy of the resolution to abate working cash funds up to $750,000 to the operations and maintenance funds. Chris?
So I did mention in the amended budget notes, we originally thought we would need about 1.5, but we did have a lot of projects that we budgeted for in the O&M fund that weren't completed that will move to the next budget. So we've finalized the last payroll of the year. We've done our last bill run for this meeting. So currently, the deficit fund balance in O&M is $536,000. So Marissa and I talked today. We're feeling like we should probably abate the $750,000. That way, if any of the projects that are still lingering out there with green or some of the things that we thought we could get done before June 30th, we would have a little bit of a surplus to pay for those items.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Mary.
Second.
Second, I'll give it to Lindsay. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold? Yes. Mrs. Kimes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Gainier?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes. Agenda item number 12, salary and benefits presentation. Chris? Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is my last presentation of the year. So we see salary and benefits in the budget and talk about them in all our financial reports, but we've never really explained how we determine how we come up with the numbers for salary and benefits in the budget. So I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about it and kind of briefly explain how we determine all of this. So some of you probably remember when I did the budget presentation back in the fall, salaries and benefits are the largest part of the budget. They're actually 63% of all the expenses that we have here at the district. The education fund, being the largest fund, obviously has the largest portion of salary and benefits. It holds the most amount of staff members. And the budget amounts we're going to talk about in a couple slides here, they're determined by types of employee groups, and we'll break that down for you in just a second. So when we think about what's considered a salary or a benefit, so a lot of times when people think salary, they just think about someone's regular salary. That's all that we budget for, but there's many other things that go into that salary bucket. So a lot of the contracts and salary schedules have longevity stipends, so that has to be calculated and looked at who falls where on salary schedules. Extra duty stipends, so that would be maybe coaching, committee work, yearbook, different things that people do as extra duty. Some of our groups get overtime. Your 12-monthers, custodians and maintenance get overtime. Plan pay, so that's extra pay that we pay a certified staff member if they miss their plan pay. Substitutes, so all of our groups have substitutes. When people are absent, we need substitutes. Homebound tutoring. Then some of our bonus categories, perfect attendance. Some of the groups have vacation pay, buyout, transportation has accident-free bonus, and then comp time is something that we have to budget for as well because people do continue to get paid when they work overtime. So looking at the benefit bucket, insurance obviously is the biggest benefit that we pay, and in that insurance is the medical, dental, and life insurance that we pay for. Pensions, TRS comes out of your education fund, and then IMRF comes out of the IMRF Social Security fund, your Social Security and your Medicare. And then I listed paid time off. It's not necessarily a monetary amount that we budget for these things other than vacation and maybe substitutes for these things, but benefits that do cost some type of salary is vacation, personal days, sick days, bereavement, professional development, and work comp. So this is kind of a little snapshot of where we're at right now with salaries and benefits. So for the 2025-26 school year, our budget for salaries and benefits is $23,468,419. I'm not going to read through all of the funds and the numbers, but it's just a listing of in each fund, that's what we budgeted for salary and benefits, and then the middle column expended, and then as you see on some of your financial reports that you review monthly, the expenditure report always has % of budget expended. So right now, these numbers represent the expenses from July 1st through May 31st. So you should see each budget around 94, 95%. So you can see 2 of the funds are 95%, and the other 3 are a little bit under what we budgeted. And we'll talk in a few minutes about why that may be a little bit under. So to date, as of May 31st, we've expended $21,115,222 on salaries and benefits. So some of the ways that we determine what we're going to budget for salary and benefits, I wanted to talk about a little bit. And Marissa has some booklets that I made up. So I spend a lot of time making a lot of spreadsheets and breaking down benefits and salaries. And depending on what employee group they're in, we have different manners that we budget for their salaries. So new salaries begin depending on what type of employee group you're in. And when I say begins, that means we have different employee groups. So we have different times of the fiscal year that new salaries begin. And we'll look at those in a second on the next slide. So benefit amounts almost always begin on July 1st. Few exceptions, maybe someone new to the district starting the school year, we would budget from August through June instead of July through June. Some of the benefits are determined by the current year's salary, but not fully paid until the next fiscal year. So what that means is maybe somebody doesn't start their salary until September 1st. It takes us all the way to the next August into a new fiscal year to pay for that salary. And then, for example, TRS is paid July and August. If someone started a salary in September, their TRS wouldn't be paid on all of it until July and August. So we have to take that into account when we're budgeting the benefits. Staff that leave the district at the end of the fiscal year may still be budgeted in the following year. So just like I said, someone maybe retires, resigns at the end of the school year, but we're still paying out their salaries all the way through August. So you still have to budget for that portion of salary and benefit. And then some employee groups have stipends that are paid in addition to their salary. So we talked about that when we talked about the salary bucket. So you have to pay attention to who's where on what salary schedules and look and see if there's going to be longevity stipends. And then some employee groups may have post-employment benefits that need to be budgeted. So let's say you take a 12-month employee that's done at the end of June. We're done with their salary, but maybe they're in a group that has a union agreement that we pay for a portion of their insurance until they reach a certain age. So then we still have to budget for that benefit portion of it. So this is what I'm talking about with employee groups. So we actually have, during a fiscal year, 3 different start dates depending on what employee group someone is in. So the July 1 start is our biggest group, and that's all your 12-month employees that get paid. Their pay gets spread out, their salary from July through June. So I don't need to read through all of them. You can see there who they are. And then August 1st, that would be like your assistant principals, school secretaries. So they're gone for the summer. They come back on August 1st. So that's when their new salary starts. So when I budget, you'll see in the budget books that I left for you to look at, I have to budget for 1 month of their own old salary, their prior year salary, and 11 months of their new salary. So there's some formulas built in that we use. The September 1st would be all of your school year starts. So certified staff, parapros, nurses, cooks, bus drivers. So you'll see on their worksheets that I have a formula built in. So it's 2 months of the prior year salary and 10 months of the new salary. And then we obviously have part-time employees, crossing guards, servers, summer help that they get paid as they go. So those are always kind of our best guess. We kind of know how many days and hours and things they work. So we try to get as close as possible. So some of the reasons, so when we looked at that snapshot of where we're at in the budget right now, some of the reasons that maybe we aren't, exactly right on the budget. So some of the reasons we may differ a little bit from what we originally thought. An employee leaves or is hired mid-year. So someone leaves, we're done with their salary. Maybe we don't replace them for a while. So we've budgeted for them to be there all year. And same if someone gets hired mid-year. Maybe an employee changes insurance election. So maybe somebody didn't take insurance before and now has a life-changing event and needs it. Or maybe someone's single coverage and they have a life-changing event that means they have to add dependents. So that's a bigger expense for us. So that kind of throws our benefit line off. A new student moves into the district. It may require additional staff to be hired for that student. An employee may move across on the salary schedule. So we try to catch all of these when we're budgeting, but every once in a while there's a late one that they get their transcripts in on time. So then we have to, my salary for that line is off a little bit. An employee makes a change in a position. So let's say someone's a custodian and they decide they want to be a paraprofessional and they move to a different position, different pay. And then when we rehire to replace them, maybe they're on step 6 and now the new person's on step 0. So that throws things off. And then obviously long-term leaves or doc time. So maternity leaves, medical leaves, if someone needs to take some doc time or extended doc. So now that changes my full-time person's line and then also increases my substitute line. So some of those substitute and non-full-time staff are a little bit of a guess. So as I said in the fall when I was presenting the budget, it's really just a big puzzle that we're pulling all the pieces together to try to put the puzzle fully together. So we try to get as close as possible with salary and benefits, and we usually do, but there's just there's a few of these things that kind of throw a wrench in the works once in a while. So any questions, comments, anything else I can answer that I forgot?
No, you do a fine job. Thank you. Keeping track of all the puzzle pieces.
All right. Yep.
Thank you very much, Chris. Okay. Agenda item number 13, approval of the amended 26-27 school calendar. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the changes listed below. November 3rd, 2026, Election Day will now be a day of attendance for staff and students, as this was not made a holiday by the state of Illinois. May 25th, 2027 will now be an early release day and the last day of student attendance. Questions, comments, concerns? I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Mary. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold? Yes. Mrs. Kimes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Gainier?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes. Agenda item number 14, revision of policy 6-135. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the revision of policy 6-135.
I had a question. Is Chris here? Oh, good. Chris, why did we redo the rubric?
We just were scaling it back. So after several years of collecting data, we started to see some different trends. When the policy first came out, they gave you a suggested percentage. So we were just trying to look at the data we've collected over the years to see where we think a child would still be able to be high enough to succeed, but didn't necessarily have to be in the gifted, truly high exceptional range of the 95%. So we changed the parameters based off of some new guidelines from MAP and just looking at incoming kindergarten data.
Okay. Do you need this for the next school year? Is that why it didn't go through the policy committee?
I mean, typically, yes, but I think we were just changing a few things. The process didn't change.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you, Chris. All right. Again, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Lori, second by, was that Mary Beth?
Mhm.
Second by Mary Beth. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold?
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes?
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Gainier?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes. Agenda item number 15, the staff survey results. Ms. Darlington will share a presentation on survey results with beginning of year and end of year comparisons in regards to overall culture, staff engagement, and perception, and overall job satisfaction.
All right. So I obviously don't expect you to remember everything from the fall that we talked about. So you'll see some of the slides from the fall here, but just some background knowledge. If you remember when I came in July, one of the first things I did was survey not only our certified staff, but also our non-certified staff in several areas. And one of the areas that I had talked to you guys about when I had presented this back in September was that I would do another survey at the end of the school year. So this was done at the very end, the last week of school, if not the last day. And basically got those three areas that Sean had just talked about. What are we looking at with climate and culture, job satisfaction, all of those things. So I'm going to review some of the things. This was where we were in July 2025. We had 125 participants for our certified survey that our staff took. So if you remember, about 77% of those were teachers that took that survey. They have 24% of them had over 16 to 20 years in education. 23% of those had that many years within OES. Off to the right is the school makeup. So while it's not labeled by school, you can see in the fall, it was a pretty even mix of all of our schools within the district from people that had participated in this survey. So in June of 2026, we actually had 131 participants. So we had a few more. Again, the good majority of that was our teachers, 78%. 18.3% were our paras, and then 3% were our admin. Again, 26% of those had 16 to 20 years in education. This time it flipped just a little bit. The years in OES, that number was 19.8. That was a little bit higher with 0 to 3 years within the district. And then it went 18.3% with 16 to 20 years within the district. So again, off to the right is the makeup of the schools who participated in the survey. There's one outlier there, or one, maybe two there, but, a little bit over 25% for one of our schools. I will not name the schools, but we've got, still a pretty even mix of participants from those surveys. So when we take a look at some of the things that we had talked about, when we talked about what overall culture is, we had talked about those shared beliefs, the values, attitudes, behaviors, traditions, practices that basically shape our overall environment and our experience here at OES. So for not only our students, but our staff and our families. So in July, this is where those survey results came out. We had about 2.4% of those participants that said it was extremely negative, 16% that said it was a negative culture, 40.3% that were pretty neutral in that sense, neither negative or positive, 33.1% said it was positive, and 8.1% said extremely positive. So I'm happy to report in June 2026, we did not have anyone report that there's an extremely negative culture here within OES. 1.5% of those participants did still say it was a negative environment. 17.8% said neither negative or positive, but the real the next two, positive and extremely positive, we had, just over 80% of our staff that took that survey that felt like it was a positive culture within just those few months, within the 11 months that we had within our school district here. So obviously we will continue to work on those neutral culture takers. And, this is an anonymous survey, so they are very comfortable, I think, in terms of feeling comfortable to respond how they truly feel. So that's something we will obviously continue to work on. We want to make sure that we don't have any extremely negative or any negative at all. So we'll work on that 1.5% coming up in the school year here, and then try to move our, neutrals into the positive zone as we move through the next school year. So if you recall, we had done this in points of pride and then progress points that we wanted to look at. So I wanted to share the difference in the points of pride for you. So in July of 2025, we've got 4 there that we had talked about in terms of staff engagement and perception. So I have positive relations with my district peers. In July, that was 87.1. In June here, it's at 95.5. So I think that's a great thing to see. I have positive relationships with building administrators. We went from 79.8 to 82.5. We will obviously continue to work on that as a DLT. And I'm proud to work for the district, 71.8% to 87% even. And our students receive a high quality education. We went from 70.2 to 86.2. So again, to me, those are still points of pride. I'm really excited to see that growth there, but obviously areas that we will continue to make sure that they stay that high. In the fall, some of the progress points that we wanted to work on in terms of staff engagement and perception were my voice on decisions is valued by our leadership, having a clear understanding of our district goals, and having the opportunities to try new ideas within our district. And so one of our goals there was to implement that strategic planning process that included reviewing the district's mission statement, developing a forward-looking plan for the future, and we had accomplished that within our school year. So looking at the voice on decisions is valued by our leadership, going from 31.5 to 59.5, I think says a lot for our administrators. Having a clear understanding of our district goals now, 41.9 to 69.5, and then having opportunities to try new ideas within our district, 48.3 to 72.5. So that was a huge jump there and something that our district and school should be really proud of. When we take a look at overall job satisfaction, in the fall, our points of pride, really enjoy working in our district. Overall, how satisfied are you as an employee, and would you feel comfortable referring a close friend to work in our district? So in July, 70.2% of our staff members really enjoyed working in our district, and today we have 90.8. So I think that's a huge accomplishment in terms of things to be proud of. And 57.2 of them were overall, how satisfied were they as an employee? We're now at 82.5. And would they feel comfortable referring a close friend to work in our district? Again, from 54.9 to 83.9. So we had some really great points of pride. You know, in the fall, we had kind of talked about anything that was over that 50, percentile. We were considering a point of pride. And today I can report those are obviously much higher. So that's great to see. And in terms of overall job satisfaction in the fall, some progress points that we wanted to take a look at were, am I fairly compensated for my work in our district compared to the peers in our region? And do I feel appreciated for the work that I do? So again, in the fall, 38.9 people felt they were fairly compensated. And at this point in June, that was 70.2. And then feeling appreciated for the work that I do, we were at 48.4. And I'm happy to report that that's 71.0 in June of 2026. So again, our goal there was to foster that culture of recognition by implementing practices that consistently celebrate and appreciate our staff contributions across the district. And our administrative team worked really hard to make sure that that happened throughout the school year. And then when we look at our support staff survey participants, so in the fall, we had 24 participants. So that is anywhere from our custodians to our secretaries, our directors, our tech assistants. In the spring here, I had somebody reach out to me and ask if they were a long-term sub that wanted to take that. And I actually didn't have that as a category. So they filled that out as other. So that's one thing that I will add in the fall to make sure that we get our long-term subs in there, because we have a few that have obviously worked in our building for several years and wanted to be a part of the survey, which I think is great. So years in education, 18.2 of those participants either had 16 to 20 years, 11 to 15, or 0 to 3. And then our other group was 13.6 represented our greater than 25 years, our 7 to 10 years, and our 4 to 6 years. So within those years of education, how many of those are at OES? So 30% of our participants in the fall were 0 to 3 years, 17.4 was 11 to 15 years, 4 to 6, and then greater than 25 was that 13%. So again, the school makeup was a little bit different. You obviously also have the district office within this one, as that's where, the majority of our directors are housed there. So in the spring here, I guess we could say June here, we dropped from 24 participants to 17. So even though we're 7 less, I still took these results to be fairly accurate. Again, half of that, or just over half, was our secretaries and receptionists that filled out the survey. our custodians in there, our nurses, and then when I had talked about other, that was, I know for sure that's at least one of our long-term subs, and there may have been somebody else that filled out an other too. There's 11% of those survey participants. And then looking at the years in education, 35% of those were 0 to 3. And then obviously within OES, 29.4% were 0 to 3, and 4 to 6%, or 4 to 6 years, again, made up those two categories. And then when you're looking at that school makeup, there were 2 schools that had an over, kind of took over in terms of half of those responses, and then it went down from there. But taking a look at the overall culture in July of 2025, again, 8.7 felt it was extremely negative, 13% felt it was negative, 47.8 were neutral, 26.1 felt we had a positive culture here, and 4.3 felt extremely positive. So again, in June of 2026, I'm excited to report that while there were less participants, we have 0% in extremely negative and negative, which is great to see. 23.5% obviously neutral in that sense, 41.2 positive, and 35.3 extremely positive. So I think that's something to be really proud of in terms of the overall culture, but we will continue to work on that every year. And then points of pride, proud to work for the district. We did have 87% say they were proud in July. That number actually dropped in June to 82.3. But when you look at some of these other ones, it's kind of an anomaly in the sense. So we'll still work on that one as we move through here. But having positive relationships with my district peers went up just slightly, 73.9 to 76.5. Having positive relationships with district administrators went from 73.9 to 88.2. That was great to see. And having positive relationships with their building administrators went from 69.5 to 82.4. So again, these were points of pride of ours in the fall, and I still view that as a point of pride in June of 2026 here. So in the fall, our progress points were my voice on decisions is valued by our leadership. We only had 22.7 of our non-certified staff that felt like that was happening. Today, we have 52.9. That was great to see. Have opportunities to try new ideas within our district. Same thing. That was at 39.1, and now it's at 64.7. And having a clear understanding of our district goals made a huge jump from 43.5 to 82.3. So again, implementing that strategic planning process that include reviewing our district's mission, vision, and making that strategic plan. And we had a really good number of participants for both of those. And then overall job satisfaction. So our points of pride in the fall, really enjoyed working for our district, 82.6. Again, that did go down to 76.4 in June here. But then overall, how satisfied are you as an employee? So this was the one that I was kind of like, ooh, like which way does it go? Because we went from 56.5 to now 82.4. So they're satisfied, but maybe they don't enjoy working in our district, and they also are not proud to work for our district. So I guess we'll really work on that verbiage of being proud and really enjoy working here versus just being satisfied. And then how comfortable would you feel referring a close friend to working in our district? That was at 52.1%, and it now today stands at 82.4. So again, while there were only 17 participants for the survey, that was down 7, but still looking at those, I think those are great to celebrate. So in terms of our progress points, I'm fairly compensated for my work. That was at 52.2. That did go up to just 53. So it basically stayed the same in terms of that. And then feeling appreciated for the work that I do. It was great to see that went from 43.4 to 64.7. So again, fostering that culture of recognition by implementing those practices where we're constantly and consistently celebrating and appreciating our staff for all that they do across our district. So any questions, comments, anything you'd like to share? All right, so we'll continue to work on surveys like this every year and share out those results at the beginning of the year and the end of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 16, approval of new soccer uniforms. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the bid from BSN for new soccer uniforms in the amount of $2,683.26. Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Mary Beth. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes, Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 17, approval of bids for bread, milk, and paper. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the following bids for milk, bread, and paper. For milk, Marigold Dairies, Elkhorn, Wisconsin for 1 year. Bread, Alpha Baking Company, Chicago, Illinois for 1 year. And paper, option A, for Midland Paper Wheeling, Illinois for 1 year.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mary, second by, was that Mary Beth? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes, Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 18, approval of summer workers. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the summer workers listed on the report.
So moved.
Motion by Eric,
Second.
second by Lori. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Okay. Agenda item number 19, summer maintenance projects report. Mr. Tabor will share the summer projects that will be completed in the summer of 26.
Sure. Good evening, school board. So the report that I presented, a little bit different this year with a list of projects that we're working on and planning on working on at the different school buildings. I can tell you that through the month of June, things have been going great. We've got excellent summer workers that have really benefited our custodial staff and doing a great job for us. Obviously the roofing project at Shepherd, we're running a little bit behind, but they have a plan to kind of catch up, working some weekends and things, but the weather hasn't been cooperating, as we all know. But overall, it's been going very well. Good communication between all the different schools. Superintendent and I meet with the principals and the custodial staff weekly. That's helped out quite a bit with the communication, along with the roofing meetings, contractor meetings. So things are going great. I'll come back again at the end of the summer and give you a report of what's actually been accomplished. The list changes all the time, as you see in our work orders. There's been a lot of things already in June that have kind of cropped up that weren't planned. That's just part of it. Every summer, we've seen it year after year. It's very common. So if I can answer any questions from the report or any questions you might have, I'll do my best.
I like your new format.
Good.
I do too.
It looks
It's good. Can you give us an update on the air conditioners at Lincoln?
So the contractor has returned to do their punch list. They started back actually this week. So we have a few little problems with the window air conditioners where they're leaking some water when it rains. So what they're planning on doing, and in fact they started this week, they did a mock-up of what they plan on doing to repair the unit, taking it apart, taking the framework apart, and putting a better pitch on the unit, reinstalling, sealing up, doing a better job of sealing. So they've accomplished that. We've sent pictures and information to the architect. He was out early in the week for the initial walkthrough, but it's looking good, and they're going to follow through with the rest of it. Unfortunately, there's going to probably have to be a man lift moving around the building again.
Yeah.
But they do have a different superintendent on the project, which has been very beneficial. They're very attentive, and I really feel like we'll get things sewn up here this summer.
Good. Thank you. Good.
Is there anything else I can answer for you guys? Okay,
Any other questions?
well, great. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay. Agenda item number 20, approval of the MOU with the City of Ottawa and OES for an SRO for the 26-27 school year.
I've talked to Brendan. Is there any way that we can move this to the policy committee? So anybody that wants to review it, especially Eric and Brendan, that would be nice. So we can go through and see if there's any changes that need to be made for our side, so to speak.
What would we need to do to accomplish that?
table? Oh, yeah, we're going to table.
Yeah, I suppose table it or refer it to policy, either way.
Yeah.
Because we're meeting next week, so I mean, we'll get on it as soon as we, next to do it.
So do we need a motion to do that?
Okay. So would you like to make a motion to table this item, or?
Can I make a motion to refer to the policy committee? And anybody else that wants to join? Can I do that?
but you're going to table it to refer it to the policy committee.
I suppose you want me to make the
Mhm.
table and then to refer, or do you want me to make two motions?
If there's questions regarding the MOU, I think we have to include, the city.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
If you're having questions with the MOU, I think we would need to include the city or at least the chief in terms of.
Well, I
language
thought
from the
maybe we
MOU.
could meet as a committee, go over it, and then meet with the city. I mean, I would like our input, just to be our input, and then present it to them.
Whatever you guys want to do. So you're gonna meet first and then I'll meet.
I like that idea, because I think that kind of gets, I
Yeah,
think it's more comfortable that way.
yeah,
To get your thoughts formulated and what you're going to present.
Yeah.
And then bring in the person that you're presenting
because
it
the
to.
city wrote the whole thing up. I mean, it's
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Yeah.
their paperwork.
Yep.
I think we need to have at least our input
I
in it.
agree.
You can try, yeah.
What now?
I said, yeah, you can definitely try, right?
Yeah, I can try. They love me at City Hall.
Okay, well, I am hearing a consensus here, but if we could have a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we table this agenda item at
Okay,
this time.
all right.
I'll second.
Motion by Lori, second by Mary. Let's see, does that need to be a roll call? Okay.
Yeah.
Madam Secretary, great, thank you. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Abstain.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Okay, agenda item number 21, approval of curriculum and maintenance reports. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the curriculum and maintenance reports.
So moved.
Motion by Mary,
Second.
second by Lori, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? None. Agenda item number 22, acceptance of superintendent's reports. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the superintendent's reports, including the enrollment report, cafeteria report, discipline report, important dates, and FOIA requests.
So moved.
Motion by Lori,
Second.
second by Eric. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. Agenda item number 23, approval of resignations. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the following resignations. Amy Anderson, crossing guard at McKinley, effective June 1st, 26. Jordan Strange, coach of the 6th grade girls basketball and 5th grade boys basketball, effective immediately. Nate Pinter, principal at Jefferson School, effective June 30th, 26. Brianne Gainier, coach for the 7th grade girls basketball, effective May 27th, 26. Leah Hodgkinson, life skills teacher at Central Intermediate School, effective at the end of the 25-26 school year. And Tracy Ford, paraprofessional at Central Intermediate School, effective immediately.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mary Beth, second by Lori. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes. Yes. Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 24, approval of personnel. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the following new personnel. Nicole Thrush, assistant cheer coach for the 26-27 school year. Jeremy Johnson, assistant softball coach for the 26-27 school year. And Laura Wright, lunch server at Lincoln Elementary for the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mary, second by Lori. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes.
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 25, approval of maternity leave. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the maternity leave of the following: Chelsea DeVos, my apologies, Chelsea. Chelsea DeVos, technology assistant, 12 unpaid weeks for maternity leave effective July 31st, 2026, with return date of October 26, 2026. And Mallory Sinning, nurse at Lincoln Elementary School, from April 20th, 2026, with a returning date at the beginning of the 26-27 school year.
So moved.
Motion by Mary Beth,
Second.
second by Lori. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes.
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 26, approval of transfer requests. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the transfer of the following personnel. Eric Miskell, would I read that, 3 to 11? 3 to 11 custodian at Shepherd Middle School to the 3 to 11 split between Jefferson and McKinley, effective 7/1/26. Amanda Lamps, fifth grade reading specialist at Central to reading specialist at McKinley, effective at the 26-27 school year. And Sandra Crabb, the 311 custodian at Lincoln Elementary to the 311 custodian at Shepherd Middle School, effective July 1st, 2026.
So moved.
Motion by Lori, second by Mary. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 27, approval of leave of absence. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the leave of absence of the following. What's it, Angela? I'm sorry. Angela Marino, librarian, Central Intermediate School, from August 13th, 26 until November 23rd, 2026, in order to complete student teaching.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion by Eric, second by Mary Beth. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold,
Yes.
Mrs. Kimes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes. Agenda item number 28, executive session. It's recommended that the board enter executive session for the purpose of discussing the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, negotiations, and reviewing the executive minutes from the regular board meeting of May 19th, 2026. Closed session minutes to be released, kept in confidence, not 18 months old.
So moved.
Motion by Mary,
Second.
second by Lindsay. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Thank you. I will get this eventually. We'll figure this out. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold, Mrs. Kimes,
Yes.
Mrs. Gainier,
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Gainier,
Yes.
Mr. Conley.
Yes.
Um, It was smack dab in the middle, and I don't, like I said, I don't know why. Oh. It definitely wasn't a financial.
No.
No. Oh. I was gonna ask her about something else too.
Nobody ever sticks around.
No, I don't know why.
No.
They just, I looked up and.
Okay, if we're ready. Oh, they finally turned the mics up. Okay. All right. Agenda. Okay. Agenda item number 29. It is approval of executive minutes. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the executive minutes from the regular meeting of May 19th, 2026 to be kept in confidence.
So moved.
Motion by Mary, second by Mary Beth. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Agenda item number 30, approval of executive minutes to be released. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the executive minutes to be released, kept in confidence.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to table by Lori, second by Mary. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Thank you. Agenda item number 31, approval of administrative contracts for 2026-27. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve the administrative contracts for 2026-2027.
So moved.
Motion by Eric,
Second.
second by Lindsay. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Mrs. Manigold? Mrs. Kimes? Mrs. Gainier?
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Gainier?
Yes.
Mr. Conley?
Yes. Agenda item number 32, adjournment. It is recommended that the Board of Education adjourn.
That looks like German soup.
Motion by Mary Beth, second by Lori. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? None. Thank you.
That looks good too.
Yours looks like a Oreo, like a chocolate silk